Okay, so hi. So the new update is coming out soon. It will have a crafting version 2, and of course, the new crafting menu comes with the new configs, which are actually based on old configs. But yeah, they're quite similar, but they're not the same. They're definitely not the same. There's a lot about them that got changed. So right. So the first things first. Let's look at the config itself, right? So you need to open the A3 Epoch config PBO, right? Extract it, or you can find the files on the GitHub. It's under configs and cfgCrafting, right? Now I'm just gonna close everything else. Yeah, before I carry on, I'm just gonna apologize. This is not gonna be anything fancy or professionally edited video. It's just gonna be a quick mock-up, so you guys can carry on with doing your stuff, right? So in the config, the top part is heavily commented out. So that means everything. I've tried explaining everything in the config as well, but since there are still confusions, I'm just gonna do a video as well. I'm gonna get to nearby soon. Let's start with the very most important thing. If you want to add stuff to the crafting menu, you need to enable developer mode. And you want to do this on the local test servers. You don't want to do this on the public servers, obviously. There's no harm if you forget to disable it, but best if you leave it off, right? So either delete the line or set it to 0. Okay, so now we have the developer mode enabled. I suppose we could, before we start editing, I suppose we could just launch the game and see what the developer mode is about. Okay. Right, let's go. So we have edited our file. Let's copy it. Open your server. If you have a hosted server, it's just your mission files. This here is my dedicated server, local dedicated server. So I'm just gonna paste it here on the root. Open description.ext, and you need to include it anywhere you want. Top, bottom, doesn't really matter. So let's go with include and cfgCrafting.hpp. If you're putting it in a folder, put folder in front. Don't use the backslash in front. That it'll be looking in well, actually, you can't really do that. Never mind. Don't do that. Sorry, I'm very tired. Right, so that concludes the installation. That's real easy, right? As simple as that. Let's close that. We have it in the root. Yep. Let's open your database and the game, and let's launch the game. Okay, it'll take a while. So the new crafting menu. In the new crafting menu, and same as a lot of other configs I'm bringing into Epoch now, you will be able to bring them to your mission config file and edit pretty much most of the stuff, or add stuff, or modify the code. Yeah. In this case, when it comes to the crafting menu, you can modify about everything. You can change the cost of the craftings. You can even change the color scheme of the whole crafting menu, right? I'll show you how to do that now as well. The nearby requirements arrays changed dramatically. It's more specific now. You can add your own images as well. You can change the name of the object. You can change the description. You can change the 3D model of the object that appears. Pretty much everything can be overwritten now, right? So let's open the crafting. Okay, I have just gonna double click on the wooden log here, right? So this is the default crafting menu now, right? Because I double clicked something, I pressed craft, it searches for the item by default. So that's the only item you've seen in the crafting. I'm not gonna go about the crafting menu itself, but yeah. So this is the default one, right? And you remember we enabled the dev mode. Yeah, that's the guy. Okay, so that's the dev mode. Normally you shouldn't have the button up there. And let's look at what AWOL did. Actually, before I do that, let me open my RPT and clear it out. Okay. I'm just gonna minimize it a bit. Sorry, I'm being very slow with this. Alright. And he was editing the workbench. Yeah, there we go. So the workbench is actually, you know, kinda not where it should be. It should be more in the center. So I'll show you how to change that. Right? You just, when you have the dev mode enabled, you can actually move the 3D preview up. Okay. You can change the scale. Let's give it like 25. Let's readjust it. I think 25 is actually good, right? Well, that looks kinda okay. It's not, yeah. It's alright. Give it 20, like 23, 24, just to be on safe side, right? And now we can export the config out to an RPT. So all you need to do is now you have the export settings for the kit workbench, right? I'm just gonna move this to the other side, and so we are looking for a kit now, and it found it's used in, so we not care about that. Now we're looking for a class for the settings for the for the class, which is the kit the workbench itself, and we just copy this part here and overwrite the preview position and preview scale and the vector in here. The vector is just basically allows you to kinda flip the object to the side. Yeah. Sometimes objects it depends on the pivot and how they were modeled. That's why this vectoring kind of helps a little bit. Okay, so now let's actually add an object to the menu. Okay, so now we have our table edited. Let's add an item, and I'm gonna use Maka Soliters because this is the reason for this video is him asking for help. I'm gonna ask, sorry, I'm gonna use what he's trying to accomplish here. Right, so he's trying to add something. I think that's a weapon. Right, so I'm just gonna try to figure out what he's trying to do there, and let's do it. Okay, so basically, when adding items, okay, when you're adding items, there's one thing you wanna keep in mind. You don't use default, okay? You don't change anything here as well, okay? But what you're doing is you're using the templates, and the templates are specifically made for you. Don't mind this part for now. I think that's gonna be removed in the future. I'm not sure. Vehicle is not in the game yet. Basically, the vehicle part will allow you to spawn actually craft vehicles like bicycles and helicopters if you want it. No limitations really. So what we're gonna do is because I think we're creating a weapon, we're just gonna go with the item, right? So he's trying to create MMG 0110 F something. So I'm just gonna go ahead and then add it on the top here. Right, just gonna call it custom, so I know where my custom shit goes, right? Custom end. Okay, and we're gonna use item template. So you're taking item. Okay. Now what it does, it takes the priority and the craft time from the item, and then a lot of other stuff from here. The interesting thing about priority actually is used it's a priority of the item shown on the left hand side in the crafting dialog, right? The lower the priority number here, the higher the priority of the item in the crafting menu. And obviously, since I'm actually adding the config on top of the rest of the configs, it means this object should be actually the first one on the very top of the list. Okay. So okay, the type, you don't worry about that now. For now it's gonna be, just read the comments there. I'm sorry, I'm too tired to explain that shit. Right, so what we care about is the priority. We're gonna set it to just for the demonstration to 0, so it's gonna be on very top. We're gonna do with crafting time, because it's I suppose that's a weapon, so it'll take a lot of time to craft it. So let's say 5 seconds. We're gonna go ahead with the description full. Okay. Yeah. Right, let's go with the description full, and you can add some weapon I don't care about, right? That will show up in a guide on the right hand side in the description. So there are two types of descriptions: description short and description full. And the description short, obviously you wanna keep it short. These ones here, the display name, picture, and description short, and the model, they actually are pulled from for the model itself, from the model config, but you can overwrite them. For example, the base building kits, it's actually a magazine, so if I drop it down on the ground, it's just a square box, right? And in a crafting menu, I don't want to just show this freaking square box. That wouldn't make sense. I want to show the finished product. So that's why in some of the models I had to change the model to an actual vehicle, so CFG vehicle, not CFG magazines. If that doesn't make any sense, don't worry about it. Okay, it's no biggie. Alright. Okay, so the next one we're gonna need is these guys here. Okay, recipe and then nearby. So I'm gonna look here. Alright, so let's see. He was using recipe here. I'm just gonna copy paste it. Alright, so it expects the weapon like this, one of them, part or gold, item onyx. Right, so the thing now is, if you are adding new items to recipes or used in arrays, you will have to define these as well as a parts, right? So there's a config for parts as well, the template. Okay, very important, otherwise you're gonna get a ton of errors. The reason being for this is because it's how the menu works. It's designed to be kind of like a wiki, because you can actually preview 3D objects. If you don't define them here, obviously they can't be previewed. Mind blown, right? So, but don't think of it as a limitation. Think of it as something cool that you can look up. Oh shit, this item can be used to craft this kind of stuff, right? So a miniature wiki in the game for the crafting and for the items. So that's why you'll still need to add these as well. I'll show you how to do that as well, of course. Right. Then he has used in. Of course, the formatting on the forum is fucking gob shit. Alright. There we go. So, it requires one of those and one of those, and one of these, 3 of these, and 3 of these, and requires nearby fire. Now I think he's using the old config for fire, so I'm just gonna still paste it in, but I'm sure he's using the old config for fire. So a new config is a little bit different. Okay, so let me just quickly demonstrate how nearby works. It's been redesigned. Actually, let me. Never mind. Sorry. So okay, so when it comes to nearby, you can actually add your own items that are nearby. Anything you want. If you want the helicopter to be to be nearby while crafting, you can do that as well. And you're not limited to P3D names, and no, you're not limited to only class names. You can do both, okay? And you can do your own images and all other cool stuff like that. So fire is the stuff that you will see that's gonna pop up on the nearby resources requirements, right? So that's the actual name. It doesn't represent it can be anything, right? So just for the demonstration, I'm literally gonna be anything, right? Just like that. I'm actually gonna leave it there. Okay, so the next one is path to image folder. The default one is used is this one here, because since I'm a developer, I can just do my own default paths, right? But for you, you're gonna have to do something else. And let me open a different folder just to show you what I mean and how this works, right? So it's for me it was code, data, UI, crafting. Okay, so here we go. So for example, the fire, right? We have fire false and fire true. Okay, so fire false and fire true, right? Makes sense? So that means if the fire exists nearby and if the fire does not exist nearby. It doesn't have to be white icons, it can be anything you want. You can draw your own shit if you want, okay? So you put these images in your mission file, and don't forget the path. So the second line again was the path, and let's say if there is no yeah, okay, let's go. So there is no backslash in front, okay, because it's a mission file. So let's say my images would be the folder on the root of your MP missions, okay. That's a folder now, okay, and that's what the game will be looking for the images themselves, right? And you actually need the backslash at the end. Right. I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna use the default one. And this one here is a prefix. The fire, for example, is a prefix to fire, right? Underscore true and underscore false is added by code later on, so you don't do that. What you have to make sure to do is to have a prefix, which is, for example, fire here, it's a fuel here, water, or a workbench here. So there you go. So if you do your own stuff, for example, helipad required nearby, right? You would have a helipad underscore true, helipad underscore false. Easy enough, right? Okay, I'm just gonna close that. Right, the next one, very important. Okay, listen to this very carefully. It is an array of 2 elements. Okay, and so there are 2 types of 3D files you can check. There are 2 ways of checking 3D files. Some of the 3D files or P3D files, they don't have configs. Okay, like trees, like these water sources, for example. They don't have configs, in cfgCrafting. So you can't reference them by saying Epoch some tree or some pine tree. You can't do that, no. So you have to reference them by the file name, which is the P3D file. So in this case, you would have to use the switch here, which is 0, if you're going with the file name. So you see, and the next array is amount of all of the 3D files that will do. For example, some kind of, for example, if you go for the water, right? Like here for the water, the water barrel water will do, water source F will do, pump will do fine, and well pump will do. So if any of these are found nearby, it'll work just fine for you. And the next one is an array of logic classes, which uses the switch 1. So remember switch 0. So this one uses switch 1. So now you can actually use class names. Okay, and to give you an idea, hopefully, oops, wrong one. Arma 2 CFG vehicles. I suppose that's the one. Yes, there we go. Logic classes. Okay, so all would include any vehicle, right? So you can see fire is actually using all. But there is a reason why fire uses all, because the way fire works is if something is burning nearby on fire, if you're cooking food and you have a blown up car nearby, you can use the blown up car, a fire that's on a fire to cook food, literally. I'll show you that in a sec. How it works. I mean, not the actual cooking. Right. So the next think of these as a folders, kind of like, if you know, if you want. So the next one is logic, and then there's a lot of crap you don't care about. So when it comes to vehicles, like if you're checking for vehicles, then you have all vehicles, you have land vehicles, you can have specifically, it has to be like a car. You could do with air. I think I scrolled past it, but it's somewhere there. Yeah, you can check for the animals if you want. Of course, you know, for example, specifically if you're looking for cows or animal base or animal or man, which would include the soldiers as well, you know, all that good stuff. So it's basically like folders, like the hierarchies, so you can add those and you can have multiples of them. For example, in this example, anything that's air, anything that's helicopter, that's airplane will do, anything that's land vehicle, anything, or any specific class name, like a specific class name, like for example, this guy. I think that was a bicycle, or yeah, something. I don't know, or a fucking tank probably. You get the idea, right? So you're not limited now. You can have any object as a requirement nearby with your own image. The next one is distance to check in meters. So for example, 3 meters. If the object is within 3 meters, then obviously it will be true. Condition will be true. And the count, how many of these objects you expect. If you expect, for example, a helicopter and airplane, then it will check all of the air around. And if you have at least one helicopter or airplane, at least two, either one of them or two of the same type, doesn't matter. It has to be two. Then you can do the count. For example, if you need 2 fires nearby or 3 fires nearby because you're crafting something immense, right? Now, the next one, object has to be on fire, which is self-explanatory, which is an object is set on fire, or object has exploded in it and now is on fire. That'll work too. And the last one is object has to be alive. So no, that's not like player dead or alive. No, that's alive as in it's not damaged. It doesn't have damage set to 1. So it's not destroyed. It's not like a freaking crash pile or something. Makes sense, right? So sometimes, like, because of the fire, you can see it's actually 0. I don't care if it's alive or not, because it's on freaking fire. I can cook my food on it, right? Like if I had a flamethrower and I burned the guy down and he's dead and he's just burning there, I can still barbecue, right? Makes sense, right? Alright. Okay, so now we have that part down. I'm gonna go with the fire for now. I'm not gonna change any of this, but I am gonna change this, right? So something. 1, 2, 3. Fuck it. No, just something. Okay, so next part. Next part. What am I missing? So my cat is being a dork. Right, so now we need parts. Okay, so I know these does not exist in a config, right? So which means I'm gonna just go ahead and miscellaneous parts, right? So class part, and I'm just gonna go ahead and close it as is. I don't really care. Oh, actually, you know what? No, I do care, because I'm gonna have to do the vectors for it. It's alright. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy. I'm not sure if I had these. No, yep, I don't have part or anywhere, so I'm gonna have to add these. Item onyx I have, yep. This one here I don't have, obviously, and this one here I don't have, so I'll have to add all of these. So as a parts. So let's go. It's gonna be part or launch and Titan, right? For some reason it did that dumbass tabbing. Right, and let's add these. and there we go. Looks good. Right. Alright, so that's the config done, and let's go fix the 3D previews, and that's about it. Actually, before we go, I don't want to restart the server every single time. Let's go ahead and do the final part, which is the coloring. Okay, so you can change the names of the crafting GUI, right? Anything you can rename it. If you're, for example, Russian or Japanese, you can do it your own language, no problems there. Every single item, because of these, you can also rename to your own language. Okay, if for example, localization is not done for some objects, for example, like Epoch, you can do your own language there, no problem, no problem at all. Okay, and the color tables. The color tables you're gonna get from Spoon's color picker, right? Spoon's color picker, the first one here. All right. So and yeah, you just select the color you want, like a green here, and you can see an armor colors are here, and then an HTML color here. Actually, HTML is used here as well. You can see for the progress bar. I'm just gonna literally make something really awful here. All right. So remember, I had these are set to black. Okay. So I'm gonna make them kind of like grayish, right? With 0.8 alpha. You can change the alpha here as well. Alpha slider, alpha, right? I'm just gonna do some Notepad++ tricks here. Replace. That's it. The progress background, that's fine, don't care. Recipe list box. If item, okay, so the description is one color they used in. It's when you click the items on the ingredients tab used in a requires. These are actually orange, I think. You can change those. If the item is found, it's green. If player has the item. Alright, so this is the left recipe list box. This is the ingredient list box. When a player has the item, it's green. So see, red is 0, green is 1, and blue is 0, which means green is predominant color, which means it's gonna be green. Make sense? Ingredients list box. If the player doesn't have an item on him, but the item is found nearby. So yes, items are actually can be detected nearby in nearby vehicles or nearby loot piles. So then paint it kinda yellow, right? So red plus green. Anyway, so ingredients if missing an item, then red. I'm not gonna change these, but I suppose you get the gist of this, right? You can change the frame color, the descriptions. Okay, right. So there's that. The progress bar. This is when you actually start crafting. You have this progress bar going on there. So this is the orange. This is the background of it, which is the black, transparent black. This is the text of the color. I'm actually gonna change the text of the color to something like pink, right? This will do. So we need HTML color. Yep, and there you go. And the color of the quantity text there, right? Doesn't matter. Don't fucking care about it. That's pretty much how you do the color scheme, right? So now let's take the file. Let's bring it over to the server. Let's close the server, of course. Copy, replace. Launch the server. And launch the game. Okay, so now we're gonna do 3D positions for the items we just added, and before we do that, we're gonna check the crafting bench, because if you remember, we adjusted the crafting bench already. So we check that first if it actually has a proper position now. And yeah, and I have the developer mode enabled as well, because I am gonna work with the 3D preview. It's very important. You know, you don't want your server to look unprofessional, right? You want your server to look the best. Holy shit, it's already been 30 minutes in a video. I was hoping for like 10 minutes video, but I suppose there is just too many of these features, you know, to list. I could actually go about fucking 2 hours with this easily, you know, being careful and stuff, but nah. You guys get it. You guys are not stupid, right? You guys get the stuff. Right, so let's go in the crafting menu. Open that. And you can see now the recipes in the top is actually now grey instead of black. Remember we repainted, and this is grey as well. I didn't repaint anything else, I just did the grey. But you get the idea, right? This is the used in orange, yeah. So if you have the item, it'll be green here. Okay, something wrong here. I think I fucked up the config there. That's alright. Doesn't matter. I'm not gonna check that now. Anyway, let's go with the workbench. Oh, it's because of this guy. There's something wrong with the config. Interesting. There you go. The workbench. Workbench is in the middle. That's fine. So we have this the weapon here. I should have disabled the fucking script errors there. Alright, let's set the scale to 0.5. Looks fine. No. I'll require like 0.2 or some. Fuck, no, that's too slow. I'm not gonna go into very detail of this, okay? So you guys, you can actually do that. Press oops, no. Ah, fuck it. Let's press export again. Let's open up the RPT log, and I'm just gonna actually wipe the RPT and do another export so it's all clean. There you go. So now for the MG tan, MG freaking tan. There we go. And boom, now we have a 3D position saved for and the vector as well. Very easy. And now we need to find the parts. So it requires the golden ore. The gold ore, I can't move it, you see, for some reason, but that's okay. And we can still do the set position here. So we need to decrease X a little bit because it's X is the positive. There you go. And then the Z, you never touch the Z, and the Y we need to move it up a little bit. So let's go with 28. So 27. That's fine, right? So we can export that. I'm not gonna export it because I'm gonna delete this config anyway. I haven't. You see what it doesn't show the ingredients here, right? Because I haven't added anything for the gold ore. You actually, when you work with it, you want to add the part gold ore is used in part here. So you want to add used in. Hold on. Let me quickly. You want to do this properly, right? And it is used in this weapon here, right? So now it will actually show that weapon as a. You can reference back to it. So this guy here. Oh my god. 0.2. Yeah, that's good. Right? And again, no reference back or anything like that. I'm gonna check out what's wrong with that. I think it's a recipe. Oh, it's a fucking recipe. No, actually looks fine. I suppose it's because of this guy, yeah. If it's a single item, don't use it. But it should be working, so that's kinda odd. So it should be like this. Essentially, yeah. Huh, that's weird. I'll investigate that. Or if it's my fault, I'll fix it before the next release, I suppose. and you can see some weapon I don't care about is the full description, and the mini description, the description small was pulled from the weapon itself. And of course you can change the model as well. What was I doing? Oh, the crafting. So let's craft something. I'm just gonna spawn myself some shit in. Just to show you the color, really. Do 3, 4. Give to self. There you go. I'm gonna craft. What can I craft it? I can craft a wall, I suppose. Yeah, there we go. It requires a workbench nearby. Do I have a workbench nearby? I have a workbench nearby. Oh, I think something went wrong with the nearby array for that fucking item, right? Let me check. Yeah, something went wrong with the resources part. Yeah, check resources. I think I messed up the resources. God fucking damn it. What did I do? Oh, right. Sorry about that. This is there we go. It has to be. It's actually. It's a one big array. Okay. Let me actually close the game. Okay, and re-upload this. Okay, that was my bad. But you know. Cool. So now I'm gonna actually show you why that happens. It's because you can have multiple requirements for nearby. You can have both fire, both water, both something else, right? So essentially, you could think of it as an array, okay? It's a larger array of the cool stuff. So now I'm gonna add comma here, and I'm gonna actually add another fire requirement, right? Actually, I'm gonna add the fucking water as a requirement as well. I'm just gonna copy this guy. So you see here, I forgot these two fucking brackets here. God damn it. Right. Where is it? There you go. Just gonna replace this. Okay. Save the craft. Yeah, save it out. Take it to the server again. Copy, paste, replace. I hate this part. No, obviously when developing, I have ability to do this all locally. I don't have to care about server. I just launch it and I fucking forget about the server even existing there for hours and hours. But yeah, I have to do this for you guys. So yes, just to prove my love to you, right? Oh, I didn't do the used in. Yep, I didn't do the used in. Might as well just fucking do it, right? Since we're doing this whole restart shit. Let's do, because it's just a part, right? We can simply reuse the same used in, right? It's just a part of the. Oh, I'm an idiot. There you go. So all of these parts are used in this main item, right? So item, and all of these are just parts for it. So now when we go back to parts, and let's copy this. Now when we go back to parts, we can actually can reference them back to origin. The crafted item. You can have multiples, of course. So now it should be proper. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared for all this, and it's. I'm alright. I just came back after from work. It's yeah, it's been a very busy day today. So, my apologies. There we go. So we have a new RPT, and the new RPT should be there. It took me 10 minutes to launch a fucking server. God damn it, I'm so sorry about that. Hopefully this doesn't drag into 1 hour. It won't, but yeah. don't worry about it. But yeah, okay, I'm glad it wasn't the script, so I don't have to fix anything in the script. It's the config. So configs are very fussy about the whole shit, and I'm actually glad this happened. So yeah, now you guys will be able to also fix some of these issues if you get them. Right. So if you click, now we don't have an error anymore, and now we have fire as a within 3 meters and the water source as a requirement to craft it. Obviously I won't be able to craft it because I don't have both fire and water nearby, and yeah, I'm not gonna craft it. And as you can see, weapon is actually centered properly since we actually saved out the config. If you go back into these, we actually now referencing back to the original item, remember, used in. So same with this guy, right? Onyx is I forgot to do a fucking onyx. Gold ore actually references back as well now, and this guy should be referencing back as well. You just need to remember, you just need to, if you're doing these, of course, you know, don't forget to enable dev mode and set proper positions and everything, right? When the dev mode is disabled, you can't really move it. Okay, yeah, and let's craft. I had those wooden packs. I could craft a wall. I am not within 3 meters of the workbench. Okay, so let's go near the workbench. There we go. Now the workbench is green. I can actually craft it by increasing the. And let's craft it. So now you can see the text is fucking pink or something as well, because we changed it. That would be the last thing I wanted to show you. And the item, if the item requires workbench, keep this in mind. If an item requires workbench, it will be added to the workbench. Okay. If not, it will be added to player's inventory. If the player does not have enough inventory, it will be dropped nearby into nearby weapon holder or like your loot pile. Or if there is no loot pile, a new loot pile will be created. So it's, yeah, item will be always created no matter what, so keep that in mind as well. And for the weapons, I suggest you guys actually craft weapons with the crafting bench. Okay, keep it cool, because these weapons actually gonna be added to the workbench inventory here. Let me put one of the weapons on the workbench. Boom. See, I mean, when you finish crafting it, it'll appear like this. How fucking cool is that, right? You're welcome. Also, yeah, Abel did the cargo thing part. We had this crazy idea on TeamSpeak. Yeah, I'm very happy about this. It's fucking cool. Okay, I suppose that concludes the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the new crafting menu. I really hope to see some of the cool releases you're gonna do on the forums. Yeah, I can't wait to see your ideas about what stuff should be crafted, and maybe if you come up with something cool, maybe that does not exist in Epoch, do go into back in a feedback and give us a feedback and let us know what kind of items you want to see in the game, that should be crafted, for example. Or if an item already exists in the game and you make some really cool config for the crafting, no problems, just give us the config and we will, if it's really cool, we agree that it's cool, we can actually include it in the mod as well. There's no issues with that whatsoever. Okay, okay, so that'll be 44 minutes into the tutorial. Sorry about the lengthy tutorial. Have a nice day, thanks for watching, and all the best. Good luck, guys. Bye bye.